So welcome back to How I Makes Up, guys. I'm here with my oldest friend's Kate, and this is literally the first person I used to practice makeup on before I was a makeup artist. And I think if I remember correctly, even one of the very first makeup competitions I did with Kate was back when we were 14, no, probably like 16. It was a long, long time ago. So Kate's face is one of my favourite faces to do makeup on, and I'm really, really happy to have her here at Harry Makes Up HQ today. So the look we're going to do, Kate's going out for a nice meal tonight, quite a little fancy place, isn't it? So I think we're going to do something quite sophisticated, but kind of using the autumn winter kind of colour palettes of sort of cranberries, and how to wear kind of the ready toned eyeshadows and make them look really chic and wearable. So to start with, I'm going to use some of the Dior Nude Skin Foundations, and I'm using a mix of 021 and 030. So I'm going to take a trusty favourite with my MAC stipple brush. I'm just going to apply that from the inside of the face outwards. And this has quite good coverage, this foundation, so I'm going to kind of concentrate it just in any areas where there's more redness and then just feather it out so it's lighter towards the outside. And I'd say it's almost like a semi-matte kind of finish, so it is a little bit glowy, but it's not super, super dewy. So you're probably not going to need any powder with this unless it's just a really tiny amount. So again, more on the inside of the face and then just blending it outwards so it kind of shears out to nothing on the outside. A little bit down the middle of the face. And just look up for me. I'm going to take a little bit of that under the eyes as well. And then we'll do concealer last, but just so I'm going to work with mostly kind of cream to powder eyeshadows as well. So it's going to be quite a quick kind of evening look you could do as well if you're doing this on yourself. So for Kate's brows, I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Palette, and I'm going to use a bit of the ash brown, which is quite a dark kind of greyish black brown, as Kate's got quite a nice dark natural brow. So I'm just going to thicken those up a little bit. I'm going to do that with a wing liner brush by Zoever as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that, pop it on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shape to Kate's brows. I'm just going to flex that through a little bit. And just tail it off a little bit at the end, but keep it quite soft. And turn to me, Kate. And then just taking it down a little bit at the arch. And I'm just going underneath a little bit. Just look for any of those little gaps to fill in. Again, just letting that tail off a little bit very softly at the end. So on the eyes, I'm going to use a cream-based colour, and this is by the company called, I think it's Be Beautiful by Superdrug's own company, and these are called the Be Stunning Vibrant Eye Shimmer, and this is a really beautiful kind of reddy copper colour. So I think I seem to have put the wrong lid on it, so I will pop the actual name in the description box below as well. But again, this will kind of dry to a nice powder finish. It's not going to be messy to work with. So for this, you're going to need either two kind of eye brushes, one to blend with and one to apply. So I'm going to use MAC 217s. So I'm going to pop a little bit of that on the brush. And if you close me, Kate, I'm going to pop this on the eyelid. And this whole brand by Superdrug, the I think it's called Be Beautiful, is actually cruelty free as well. So really good for any kind of vegans who want really good pigmented makeup. I've found this whole range to be really good actually. And it blends really nicely, it wears nicely. So I'm just popping that all over the eyelid, up to about the socket with the colour. And then with a clean 217, I'm just going to buff that out completely. And just keep buffing that with your 217. To get a nice soft graduation of colour. So taking a small brush from Makeup Forever, I'm going to pop a little bit of that under the eye as well. So just look up for me, Kate. So I'm just going to take that along the bottom lash line and turn the other way for me. And we're just going to pop this, so we're going to blend a little bit of dark Kohl into this just to make them a little bit smoky. But I think using a sort of more coppery eyeshadow gives a really nice effect. And it's a little bit different from your kind of normal smoky eye. So I'm just popping that under, and then with the same brush you blend above with, just get that 217 and just soften it as well. So then I'm going to take Clarins Intense Kohl. This is in 01 Intense Black, and I'm going to line the bottom waterline and smudge a little bit into the lash line. So look right up for me, Kate. So I'm just going to pop this. And this is a really easy to blend black Kohl actually, which is why I quite like it. And then just look up for me, and I'm just going to put a little couple of dots on the outer corners, just below. And same on the other side, just so we can blend that out a little bit. there's a little bit more intensity on the outer third. And this actually comes with a little brush on the other end of this brush, so I'm just going to take that and just kind of smudge it down into the lash line a little bit. I'm just going to pull that Kohl out. And turn back to camera for me. So you can see you've got the nice kind of intensity now, but we're keeping it quite soft. So I'm also going to line the top waterline as well. So if you look right down at the floor for me, Kate. And that way and down. So it's a little bit tiggly. And then I'm just going to run this along the top lash line as well. So if you close me, Kate, just into the roots of the lashes, more kind of on the outer third as well, and turn that way a little bit. And then you're just going to take the same brush that you smudged your under lash line with, and close, Kate. I'm just going to smudge that in a little bit. And just kind of flick it up as you smudge that outwards so it just blends into the red on the eye. And then I'm just going back into the original pot we had, just to take a little bit of that through the socket, sort of like a little bit extra. And more again on that outer third, so there's like a little bit of kind of, once it's dry you can layer this really nicely. And I'm going to take one more clean 217 and just buff all that through, so it's really, really soft. So I've just curled Kate's eyelashes with the Kiko eyelash curler, and I'm now going to take a little bit of the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Mascara. So I'm going to put quite a lot of mascara on, so it really kind of just makes it look a little bit tougher. So I'm just coating the bottom and top lashes. And just massage the roots a little bit with mascara once you get a really nice amount of volume. And if you take a clean cotton bud, what you can do as well is just kind of take any remaining product that you don't want. So just clean up under the eye area to make sure there is a nice kind of clean gap. And turn the other way for me, Kate. Just between the brow and the socket. So for concealer on Kate, I'm going to use two different ones. I'm going to use a little bit of the YSL Touche Eclait highlighter in number 3 under the eyes, just to counteract any kind of blue undertones. And then I'm going to use a bit of the Perfect Match Corrector by L'Oreal in shade 4 Beige. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of the Yves Saint Laurent eye brightener underneath. So just look up for me, Kate. So I'm just going to pop that kind of along that area. And turn the other way for me. And I'm just going to blend that in. And I'm just going to blend that in with a Zoeva Concealer Buffer Brush. So I'm just kind of patting that into the skin. And then taking the L'Oreal concealer, I'm just going to pop a bit on the outside just to kind of add like an extra highlight. And turn the other way for me, Kate. And I'm pouring a little bit of that on the inner corner, just to add brightness there as well. And just take that a little bit kind of up the nose, just around. And this is literally going to kind of work like a highlight. You can take a little bit of that into the brow bone, what's left on the brush, and just buff that in with your foundation brush so it's really nice and seamless. So I'm going to take the Healthy Balance powder by Bourjois, and I'm going to apply this a little bit to the areas where I want to add some powder blusher. So I'm just going to add that to the middle of the kind of T-zone as well, just to balance. And it's very light, this powder. I've been really, really impressed with this for a drugstore product. I think it's really, really good value. And then I'm going to take the Burberry blusher, which I've really been loving using at the minute, and this is in number 1 Russet blush. And again, it's quite kind of warm and sort of like a woody undertone as well. So I'm going to pop a bit of that on a Charlotte Tilbury Sculpt brush, knock a little bit off, and then I'm just going to pop that on the top of Kate's cheeks. And turn the other way for me. So it's nice because it's got that kind of warmth in it, but it's not too red. It's more of a kind of peachy red undertone. So for lips, I don't want to go kind of too nude or too red, but I do want to kind of work with these same kind of undertones and tonal palettes. So I'm going to use this lip liner by Lipstick Queen, which is called Nude. However, I wouldn't call it nude. It's quite kind of like sort of like warmy, dusky, kind of woody pink. So I'm going to use that on Kate's lip. I'm going to start just on the bottom lips, and I'm going to work with Kate's natural lip shape, but I'm literally probably just going to use this lip liner as the lipstick. So then I'm just going to go a little bit over Kate's Cupid's bow, ever so slightly. And then you can just find where your Cupid's bow is if you smile. Makes it a little bit easier to see it. And so then just to finish on Kate's complexion, just to give it that little kind of bit of glow, I use a bit of the Celestial Powder in Candlelight by Kevyn Aucoin, and I'm going to use a little bit of that on a Japanese brush. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that just to the cheekbones, just to give that nice glow back to the skin. And so that's the finished look, guys. That's going to be Kate's evening out, fancy makeup, fancy evening. It was really lovely to do Kate's makeup again. I think it's been years since I've done Kate's makeup, so it's been really nice. And I think this is a nice way to show you how you can kind of work with the same colour palette, especially if it's kind of lips and eyes, but just kind of choose what textures you're going to go for. And I think especially something like a sheer cream, you can sheer this down much, much further if you wanted just a hint of the colour. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you soon for more videos. Thanks very much. Bye.